Every year, the Mississippi River generates over $360 billion through nautical commerce and recreational activity. However, the natural state of the river is too shallow for heavy ships to pass. Now, you might hear this and think to yourself, damn. And you'd be exactly right, because the United States Army Corps of Engineers constructed 26 lock and dams between St. Louis and Minneapolis on the Mississippi River. These dams back up the water enough to maintain a navigable channel for the ships. However, they act as a barrier to fish movement, limiting access to spawning areas and habitat. And since their construction, native fish and mussel populations have shown alarming decline. On top of the ecological despair, rivertown economies that rely on commercial and recreational fishing are also suffering as these populations decrease. We need better, more efficient ways to pass fish across dams. Previous research has found successful strategies for salmon passage across hydropower dams in the Northwest United States that have yielded millions of dollars in economic and ecological returns. But almost no research has been done for fish passage across dams on the Mississippi River. And that's where I come in. My name is Matthew Kliegl, and the United States Army Corps of Engineers has funded me to find effective fish passage across dams on the Mississippi River. I've created a two-dimensional depth average hydrodynamic model, a little bit more about that in a second, of Melvin Price Locks and Dam, which is about 17 miles north of St. Louis. And have integrated different fish passage techniques, like this one shown, into my model. This is simply a channel that wraps around the dam, connecting the downstream side to the upstream side. My model calculates different characteristics of the water, like how fast it's moving, its velocity, the depth of the water, which direction it's flowing, and the elevation of the water surface. And the most important of these variables for effective fish passage are water velocity and water depth, which are shown in these simulation results right here. Through an alternative, the water needs to be moving slow enough that even the weakest swimmers can overcome the current, and it needs to be deep enough that there's enough room for the fish to swim. Using these results, I can then simulate whether fish are able to pass an alternative. And this image shows tracks of simulated fish that are successfully able to pass from the downstream side to the upstream side. Integrating designs like this across all the dams on the Mississippi River would reconnect the river, restore the ecosystem, revive economy. And now we don't have to choose between economy and ecology. They can both live harmoniously in the Mississippi River. Thank you.